Turn it up. You're listening to Live and Loud with the Lord, Nelson, that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know who it is. It's the big guy with the big show. Yes, indeed. The Lord. Nelson, that is, for the podcast Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals Entertainment. And ladies and gentlemen, I have a very, very special guest. And if she doesn't mind, I'm going to take a little time to read a little something about her. Even though, listen, and you're not able to see her beautiful face yet, but you will be. You know, right now it's just focused on the big guy. But when she speaks, it's going to be all her. So I'm going to read a little something, about her and her band. And so just check this out. So, ladies and gentlemen, my next special guest have a beautifully polished rock sound that embraces many genres, with just enough of an edge to have the heaviest music headbangers feeling and enjoying the great sound they bring. Their music complements the amazing vocalist and gives her room to breathe and ride the rhythm with a powerful yet emotionally driven delivery that is so pleasing to your ears. Yes, indeed. This is how I feel, when I'm listening to the music. This is me, So with great lyrics and choruses in concert with amazing instrumentation, their stage and musical performance is definitely a win-win for the listeners and one that should not be missed. So without further ado, I welcome the super talented, JAYCEE CLARK from the amazing band The Light Divided. Thank you so much for being here. Yes,
thank you. That was beautiful. Flattery will get you everywhere.
And I just like to speak the truth, When I go and I listen to your catalog and I'm just, just enjoying myself, I just come up with these questions. So yeah. Great to have you here, though. I mean, it's really great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm stoked to do this.
Indeed. So the first question I like to ask everybody is, where are you from, young lady?
Oh, okay. Well, let's go through my history.
Okay.
Born a Jersey girl.
Jersey.
Yes. And then I moved to North Carolina and spent a large chunk of my life there. And that's really where my musical career started. Right. And the last 2 years I've been a Nashville transplant and really? I absolutely love it here. Yeah.
Nashville. Well, it's a great music scene there. No doubt.
Yes, definitely.
So what was the best thing about, you say you spent most of your time in North Carolina?
I did.
So what was the best thing about growing up in North Carolina?
Like I said, that was really my introduction to the music scene. And I spent a really long time being a part of the local scene, which I thought was really great because it allowed me to find a sense of community, which I never really had before. So I think for me, that was the highlight of my time in North Carolina.
Right. Indeed. Well, it has birthed something great in what you're doing music wise. So, hey, listen.
Thank you.
A salute to North Carolina. I mean, I'm going to say South Carolina might be a little bit better, but it's all love.
We have love for all the Carolinas in this house.
So what does music mean to you and how does it make you feel when you listen to it?
Like I said, I just don't remember a time in my life where music wasn't an option. I remember listening to my mom's music in the car and just vibing with that. And as I got a little bit older and, started to write and started to perform, I found that as a shy girl, that it was really one of the only outlets that I had where I felt safe enough to express myself, both, lyrically and then also through performance. So that's just what I always take out of it. I just look for, a way to express myself and to be able to connect with people that are, may or may not be struggling with similar issues and find a way to heal myself by potentially, healing somebody else at the same time.
Indeed. Awesome. Indeed. I love it. I feel that. So when you were growing up, what was the most prevalent music in your household and did this music inspire you at all?
Yeah, like I said, I listened to a lot of my mom's music, which was a lot of big singers. So your Mariah Careys, your Whitney Houstons, stuff like that. And so growing up, I was like, well, that's how you're supposed to sing when you sing for. And it wasn't until like my early teens that I started getting into like pop punk and emo. And, I saw Gwen Stefani for the first time in No Doubt. And I was like, hold on, you mean I can do that now? Like, I just really loved how she in particular was like such a badass on stage, but she didn't have to sacrifice any of her femininity in order to be taken seriously as a female in a band. Something that spoke to me.
Indeed. So your mom listened to the big singers like that. Yeah,
love them.
Yeah, I always like to ask that question also, just kind of see where, because my family, we listen to everything. So my mom and dad, R&B, Motown type stuff, but they also listen to rock and pop and everything, So I love all genres. I'm not a genre snob. I just enjoy it all. If it's hot, it's hot to me. That's just the way I.
That's exactly right. I'm a fan of good songs, and I don't care what genre it's
in. Yes, indeed. Oh, awesome. So what do you feel A Light Divided brings to music that sets you apart from other bands?
I really just try to bring a sense of, vulnerability while still having fun. I think that, there's so much serious and dark shit, and trust me, I struggle with that too.
Right.
But I really like to bring that kind of stuff across in a way that's a little bit more lighthearted, high energy, something that you can jump around and throw down to, and, also sing into a hairbrush or ride around in the car with the windows down. Very, very much that.
Indeed, you guys definitely do that. Definitely do that. So has it been difficult to be in a relationship when you have to give so much of your time to be in such a successful band?
There's always that element of it. I was in a relationship for a really long time, and as the band started progressing, forward, I found that there was like some jealousy where it's just kind of like, oh, you're out traveling and this and that, and I have to stay home and take care of this. And it's like, that's who I was when you met me.
Right.
So I don't understand why it's an issue now. And, like some people just aren't meant to be in your life for extended periods of time. If they're not willing to grow with you, then what I've learned is it's okay to step away. I have no ill will or, bad feelings towards people that have come in and out of my life. Like I said, it just wasn't meant to be. And like, that's okay. Like you can grow and do your thing. I'm going to grow and do my thing. And it's okay. So the right person will stick with you through all of it.
Look at this young lady with this knowledge and wisdom and speaking.
Oh, she's older than she looks.
Speaking, let's just speaking the truth about the, hey, listen, life lessons, and we live and no regrets, and we move on and we continue to do what we do in our life. And beautifully said, young lady.
Absolutely.
Said.
Like, I feel like I've spent so long trying to like hold on to things. And, only recently have I come to the realization that like, you don't have to hold the body once it's been cold, like it's okay to let it go.
Right. Listen, I'm super visual. So you said that, it's like, I can see that. I can feel that when the body's cold. No, that's real talk though. Yes, indeed. I believe that also, relationships good. I'm been married a long time. I'm in mine doing my thing, but it's ups and downs. And of course, I always say it's a work in progress. It never stops being that. You always got to work on it. And both people have to be willing to work on it, because sometimes 100%. People do not want to work on it. So,
truly teamwork, that give and take. Ooh, It's hard though. It's definitely hard.
Yes, indeed. So young lady, you've toured and performed in large and small venues all across the country. Do you like playing the larger venues better or the more intimate venues?
I really do have love for both. And I know that sounds like a cop-out, but like I really love those small, intimate venues because I love being like people right up in your face. It feels very punk rock to me. Feels like, like getting back to your roots a little bit.
Yes.
But, I dreamed of being on a big stage in front of thousands of people and none of that. So, being able to do that as well is just like fulfilling a lifelong dream. So I love both of them. It's very different styles of performing too. So I like keeping myself on my toes.
No doubt. It really is different. It's something about those intimate shows where you're so close to the people. And even though, the bigger shows, of course, you still get that love. You feel that love, but the intimate ones, it's just like, man, it's
exactly. You can be more real. Like you can kind of have conversages and just joke around and be yourself. Whereas opposed to, the bigger ones, sometimes you have to take on this entire room.
Indeed. Yes. So how important is the energy of the crowd to your performance?
I mean, I'm a psychopath, so I'm going to give the same show, whether it's, nobody or everybody. I just love what I do. But obviously, if you have a crowd that's really giving it to you, it makes you want to step your shit up even more. So I'm like, they're chanting my name. We got to go.
Right. And see, and I do that most of us say that, we're going to go out there and give it our all. But it's like you get that boost when it's just, it'll give you something extra. Like you can run just a little bit harder, when those people are there and they're singing your songs with
100%.
you. Oh my goodness. And it's just like, man, you just get caught up in it and you become the moment. You're the moment. They're the moment. That's a moment right there. You're not living in the moment. You are the moment. And it's just like, it just feels so good. And it just takes you to another level. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Exactly. Like it feels like, when you go out there, you start doing your thing regardless, but the people feeding back really helps sustain your level of energy throughout 100%. The entire performance.
Indeed. Love. So at this point in your career, what has been the most enjoyable aspect of being a musician?
Like I said, really just the connections that I'm able to make with people. I'm such a hermit and like a huge introvert. So, and sometimes to my downfall, just like curtains closed, nobody talked to me, but being able to go out there and perform for people that resonate with what I do and be able to talk to them and hear their stories and just kind of, bring something positive into people's lives is such like what I'm here for. Because I know what it's like to be, ignored for most of my life. So I like to hear people and help them feel seen. Like, okay, I'm the one on stage, but like you matter to me too. And I know a lot of people that come to our shows talk about meeting bands and feeling like they're just brushed off, just like want the money for the merch. Okay, get out of here. But I don't like to do that. I like to talk and get to know every single person that comes to my shows, within reason. And just like stand up merch and talk and like, how's your day going? What have you been up to? This, that, and the other. And I love like coming back to those cities and catching up with them again and, rinse and repeat. It's just, I literally love that aspect of what I do because those people are there for you. I'm here for you. I think it's beautiful.
Look how she I got chills you saying that because I agree with you 100%. That is a great thing. And I know some people bands are so gigantic. I've seen some of the stars really get out there and have people it's like, wow, is that what it is? But just like you, I always enjoyed going out there talking to the people. It just means something to me. It feels good to interact with them also. And
100%.
It's a great feeling to see them smile and know that we're thankful for them coming out there and enjoying themselves and allowing us to give them something where they can get away from their problems or anything else that, just for an hour or two or whatever it is, and just come out there and enjoy themselves. And I'm a very much a people person, but like you said, sometimes I just like to, be by myself and just, because it's just peace of mind for me. And I can entertain. That sounds a little crazy. I can entertain myself, but I'm just saying, I can just sit there and I can write or whether I'm just watching TV or listening to music because I love listening to music and it's just a good thing. So, but I love people. Just that was beautiful. I like that you said that. No, I really like that you said that. Yeah.
I'm still in a small band, so I have the opportunity to be able to do this. And, hopefully as you grow and, it becomes less and less possible. I just want to take advantage of this period of my, career and be able to do that while I can, because, the goal is to not have to be able to do that forever. But
listen, you see me smiling here because I feel the same exact way. Cause I was just like, here I am, especially when I got with Stuck Mojo. I was like, here, I'm the new guy here. So it's like, let me get out here and talk with these people every night. I was just out there, just hanging out and just talking to them. And just like you said, we want to get to that level to where it's like, wow, okay, there's too many people. We can't, please all of these individuals, but still we'd love to, but nah, man, that's just love.
It just becomes unreasonable at some point. Like if there's hundreds of thousands of people, it's like, okay, well, I can't talk to everybody.
Right, indeed.
But I am fortunate enough to be able to do that right now. And like you said, I enjoy giving people a place to forget what's going on outside of the room. But at the same time, like being there gives me a reason to, forget what's going on in my own life and just focus on the present. So like I said, it's very give and take. Like we're totally one in that moment. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's true.
No, I love that. I just like, man, that's really great what you just said. It's like for us, we lose ourselves also in the moment. Once again, that moment, we're that moment there, and we're not worried about all the other stuff either except that moment. So, yeah.
I call my shows group therapy. So.
Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm with that. I love that. That's good job, Jaycee. Let's look at you. That's good. So has there been one show that is branded in your mental you will never forget?
Yes. It was in 2021. It was our very first hometown show after the pandemic had ended. I was really going through some stuff, and I finished a song where I was emotional and I cried because that's who I am as a human. And I remember the entire audience just threw up the little heart hands at me, and they started chanting family. And I broke in that moment. Like it was just so beautiful. Like I said, that's just that moment of connection for that entire audience to start chanting family. I'm like, this is what I've worked my entire life for, is to create this sense of community where people can come and meet new friends and connect through, a common source. And that was just like I get chills thinking about it. That's it's hard to top that.
Yes, man, I knew I was going to enjoy this. I enjoy all my podcast guests, because I'm happy to do it, and just to hear you speak about things that I am very familiar with, and things that have happened to me also. And yes, there's nothing like having them cheer your name, and it's just like I just look out there because I say I'm a humble person. Now I could be very outgoing, but I'm still when people give me props or it's like, hey, Lord Nelson, you this and that. Sometimes I'm kind of like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. But man, when you hear that, especially when you're on stage and you get that love, you're giving love by doing these songs and you're passionate about it. But when you get that love back, man, it's priceless. Because
you know as well as I do, this industry is hard, and sometimes it will suck the absolute soul out of you. To stand on a stage and feel like all the hard work and bullshit you put up with is actually having an effect on people is like, okay, it's the reset button. 100%. I can absolutely, keep going for these people.
Yes, indeed. Jaycee, so awesome, man. Love, 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 love. So before you walk on that stage, do you have a routine or any superstitions you must deal with before you go on to feel you're going to have a great show?
I just try to get my stretches in. I'm terrible at doing vocal warm-ups, I will admit. I don't do it. I probably should, but I definitely will get some stretches in, and I listen to some hype music to get the blood flowing a little bit, get amped, and then, the intro starts playing, and I love standing back and kind of watching my bandmates start getting hype out there, and I'm like, okay, my turn. And then, run out and do the damn thing. But really, it's just quick, because I feel like if I think about stuff too much, then I get in my own head and I screw it up. So
I got you.
Just kind of let's get hype and let's go.
Ready for the action. I love it.
Let's do it.
Well, the great Prince Rogers Nelson, I always say they were related because we both have the same last name. And, I told my children that forever, and they was like, Dad, I was just like, well, you guys are older now. Maybe I could actually tell the truth. I really don't know. I still hold on to it. I said, but we're family, though. We're Nelsons. Come on. Willie Nelson, I was like, that's your great uncle. It's all love. So the great Prince Rogers Nelson said he never did the same show twice. Does this ring true for you also?
Yeah, I think I have certain moments where I have some bullet points that I know I want to hit, but in the moment I just try to, speak from the heart and say what I'm feeling in the moment, and I change it up per show. Like I said, there's certain moments that I know that I do want to hit, so you're going to get that every time just because I think it's cute. But for the most part, we're just free flowing, and like I said, I try to tailor it to each crowd.
Awesome. So from your first dope EP, For the Sake of Change, if I'm correct, Lord. To your listen to your present incredible release, Rain. Amazing song. Amazing song. Very good. Great song. How much do you feel you've grown musically and lyrically?
Oh, like exponentially. Like I listened to the earlier work that we've done, and I'm like, oh my God, I was unhinged. So, I mean, I think, but I kind of love that at the same time because it's who I was at the time. I was a kid and, just, learning. So like, I can appreciate that version of myself, but, I've spent a lot of time working with a great producer and, great songwriters to help me, refine what I'm doing and be able to, take what I was already doing and find a way to just make it a little smoother, a little bit more accessible to everybody. So more people can relate as opposed to this one specific incident in my life that only I can relate to, you know?
Right.
So I don't have to lose like talking about a specific situation, but I can find a way to finesse it so that it could be applied to this, that, or the other that somebody else might be going through and not so finger pointy and direct.
I got you. So I was going to ask that question. So who's doing the writing? Are you doing the majority of the writing as far as lyrics?
Yeah. So like I said, it's just a real collaborative effort. At this point, I think it used to be just like me alone in a room writing everything, but now it's a much more open, let's all toss ideas out and let's like maybe find a better word for this, find a cooler melody for that,
Got you. Yeah, love. So, when you're singing these lyrics though, I will say you're singing them with such a passion, and I believe every word that you're singing. It's like, once again, I'm so visual and I'm like, oh, she's really she's really in that, she's really saying that, she really means that, and I enjoy that. So I just want to applaud you on that one. That's really good. So now, are you, the songs that you're writing or collaborating with, are you focusing on women, or just because it's you? I mean, you are the lead singer. I mean, are you focusing on women understanding this and getting this and just getting at them and letting them know that they can be this or they can feel this or do? Is it about the women? I know you want everybody to hear it, but is it like you really want to grab those women and let them know?
Not specifically. Like I said, I try to just make it accessible to everybody. Although I have loved seeing the influx of women coming out to our shows and just rock and roll in general. I think it's really great because I remember when I first started, it was just like a bunch of sweaty dudes everywhere, like, in the audience, on the stage, running this, like all that. But like just this last tour that we did, I had girls that are like 11, 15 years old coming out and coming to shows and loving what I do. And I love taking that opportunity to talk to them one-on-one and, break it down from them. Like, you can do this. Cause like growing up, I didn't like, there were like, like I said, like your Gwen Stefani's, your Hayley Williams, your Amy Lee's, but like, I couldn't talk to them and ask for advice. They're too big. So I love that there's like an influx of women in rock in general for younger girls to be able to have access to and talk about and, kind of know what they're signing up for and to tell them like, no, you're good enough. You're not a gimmick. You be a boss bitch and like run shit,
No, that is really, and I believe that you're successful at doing that. And once again, you speak with such a passion that I think that whoever's listening to it, they're going to get it. They're going to feel what it's like you've gone through something. And it's like, hey, I'm trying to let you young ladies know, hey, well, we can get to that other side, but you're going to go through things and we go through things. It's just life. So now,
absolutely. But I try not to alienate anybody because we all go through experiences like, depression or like having shitty, toxic people try to ruin our lives or, anxiety and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty open to everybody. I do think that it might be something that I'd like to tackle at some point, just to, step outside my comfort zone a little bit. But I also, don't want to make it specific to any one gender because like, I don't want people to listen to it and be like, well, that song's not for me.
Right.
And I guess not every song has to be for every person, but I like, just people to apply their own meaning to it, because while it's, my personal story, once the song is out, it's their story. So
of course. And I just think that men and women can relate to it, whether men have been the cause of something or they've gone through things similar themselves, because, it's not just like, I believe when you're speaking, when you're singing, I think that we all get it, and so we, as you said, we take from it and put it on what we've gone through. And so it's just like, I can relate to that. I can understand that. And that's what makes what you're doing great. And that's what makes great music. And you are definitely doing that. So yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Love. Nice to hear.
No. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you just finished the Make It Rain tour.
Yes.
How enjoyable was it?
It was great. Like I said, I love performing. That is the number one favorite part of what I do. I mean, there's something really therapeutic about being in the booth and, releasing all that, but to be able to stand in front of a room full of people and just express yourself and, open up about topics that I've never really talked about before. And, it was really therapeutic and cathartic and an experience I'll never forget. Like I said, to open up about heavy topics like depression and feeling like you struggle with thoughts where you just don't want to be here anymore, and to be able to tell people that, you see this on stage and you see me on social media and I'm all this, that, and the other. But it's like, we all struggle with stuff, and, we all, to an extent, feel like we have to hide what we're feeling from the people in our lives or on social media because we don't want to be a burden. And even if you were to express yourself, like, do they care anyway?
Right.
So I just wanted to be another face to prove to the people that, like, we all go through shit and you're not alone. And let's just stand in this room and get it out. Let's all just admit we're sad and work through it together. So it was really great to be able to do that, even though, like, it's really scary at the same time to open yourself up like that, but got to be done.
Well, you're doing a great job with the young lady, and your band is amazing. So is it Adam Scott and
Doug?
Doug. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We just had a thing that we had, like, an article one time where somebody printed his name as Dave. So that is just really funny to me.
I apologize, Dave. I mean, Doug. No, great musicians, great sound. You guys just it's just all together and it's harmonious, and to hear you really, as I said in the intro, you riding that rhythm and just doing your thing. It's just good to hear. And then seeing you on stage and you guys on stage is a good thing to see. Now, I do want to ask you something. Now,
okay.
Watching you guys, and I had, and I remember something popping up across the screen, and this is even before we were doing, so I follow you guys. And so it's like your voice, you had to struggle with your voice. And so you were saying, but you still got out there and did it. And once again, I felt for you. I'm an empathetic person. The big guy's an empathetic person. I just remember my first tour that I went out with Stuck Mojo. It was different because we did a lot of shows, and we did a run here in the States first before we went over to Europe. And I remember Rich saying, just gonna be worried about your voice, man. He's just like, because your voice, he's like, your voice isn't like Bones. He's like, his analogy was, he said, Bones' voice is like a dump truck. He's just gonna go out there. He said, yours is more like a Ferrari. You got to kind of keep it, this way in tune. And it seems like it should be, the other way around, because Bones is a small dude and I'm a big dude. But yeah, and so I know my throat and stuff was so sore, and I was just like, wow. This is crazy. Yeah. And he was just like, hey, listen, I know you love going out there talking to everybody, because he did the same thing, but he said, you got to kind of pull that back. He said, you can't have, he said, because we need you. We've got a lot of shows to do. And so I would just kind of like, take my time to do my thing. And then, but I wanted to talk to everybody. I just wouldn't talk as loud as I usually do, because I'm just a naturally loud person. So I felt for you is what I'm saying through all of that. I felt for you. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
It really sucks when that happens, so this tour in particular, like, we did the first couple of dates, and then I noticed that I was getting a little bit hoarse, and, whatever, it happens. We'll just muddle through. We'll do the damn thing. It's fine. But we played the one show in Tampa. It was right before a day off, and it was, like, practically gone. But, Scott is from Florida. It's a big hometown show for him. And I'm like, well, we have a day off tomorrow, so I'm just gonna give it all I can, steer into like just being extra gritty that night or whatever, and just making it work. And then we had a day off, and I woke up the day after that and it was still really bad. So I was like, well, I want to get through the rest of it. So we unfortunately ended up canceling Atlanta so I could just give myself an extra day of rest. And like you said, like I always want to talk to the people. That's why I'm there. That's why I do these tours. So I just spent most of the day like in the van on the way there, just in the back, not talking, the best that I could, just editing and doing my socials and stuff like that, and then get to the show and try to stay as quiet as I can there. But I can't help myself when I'm at the show. Like I'm gonna talk to you. Like, it's gonna happen. I'll try to do it between sets or whatever, so I'm not yelling over loud music. But I would rather, you know, forego some vocal rest so that I can have that one-on-one experience with people, as opposed to sounding technically perfect on stage, because I feel like at the end of the day, they're going to remember the conversation we had more than me struggling through a couple notes.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, I just kind of steer into what I can, and it may not have been perfect, but I still had a blast doing it. And like I said, I still got to talk to everybody, and for the most part, people were like, oh, we could tell you were a little hoarse, but they were just so grateful that I was still there and performing and doing the thing, and screw it.
Yeah. It became, you know, something personal, you know, you giving your time. That means a lot. People don't understand that means a lot to people. It really does.
Yeah,
you take the
absolutely.
time just to have that conversation. So let me ask you this. What did you do to help your voice? Did you do anything, or you just rest? It was just rest.
Like I said, I tried to prioritize getting some rest in and not talking, like I said, like on the way to shows. I have like my teas and my honey and all that kind of stuff that I try to use to soothe it. Some vocal spray, just, you know, all the little drinking water, lots of water, trying to get sleep where I can, even though sleeping on tour is an absolute joke.
I'm about to ask you something about that in a second, but I want to say this to you. So when I went to Europe and we toured with Ectomorph, I was worried. I had every spray, all of the things to you know, because I was worried, because we were going for like a month straight. We were just almost 30 shows, you know, just back to back to back to back. So I was worried. Rich was worried. Everybody was worried. So when I got there, Joey Severance, who was the tour manager for Ectomorph, he said, Lord, come here. Let me talk to you. And Zoli, also the lead singer, he was like, hey, come here for a second. So they were like, I said, yeah, man, you know, my voice, I'm worried about it. Nothing had gone on, but I was worried about it. They said, this is what you do. And I'm just saying this, that you might want to try this. So
taking notes.
You take a little shot glass, and you take like half a lemon, get it from the bar or whatever, just squeeze that lemon in there, put some salt in there, and just gargle with that before the show and after the show. It was amazing. It soothes your throat. No, you're not swallowing any of this. You're going to, of course, you spit
just
that out.
Gargle.
Just gargle with it, spit it out. It just soothes your throat. It really does. And I was just like, man, I was good to go. I had all this other stuff, but once I did that, and I did it I was good. And so I was just like, so I just wanted to, just some advice.
Oh, no, I will absolutely throw that into my bag of tricks, because I'm always looking for new, you know, tips and tricks to try anything. So when it's feeling a little questionable,
Indeed.
we can just make do. Like, I remember there was one tour right before the pandemic hit that I did that. Again, it was just a really bad, I think that I had like bronchitis or something. I didn't know it at the time. But I had no voice that entire tour. It was so bad. And I'm doing like shots of apple cider vinegar, and like it was disgusting, but I was so desperate to to pull it off. And it's like, it just sucks. You feel so defeated in that moment, because 100%. Like you're there and you obviously want to do your best, and it sucks going on stage not feeling 100% confident in your instrument. And you know, just was everybody. It's not like you can just go to Guitar Center, pick up a fresh set of chords and keep it trucking. But so, you know, like I said, just anything that can help you just to feel good about what you're doing, even if it's not perfect, just to keep it going or to help ease some of that, I am all about. So
indeed. Love. So
lemon, salt, gargle rinse.
Gargle, yeah. Before the show and after the show. Yes, indeed.
Before and after.
Yes, indeed.
That's easy enough, quick and easy. And like you say, you can get it at any of the venues.
Oh, my goodness. So how long are you on tour, before you miss your bed at home?
I gotta be honest, like I do miss being at home, but I don't know. I just love being on the road. So I'm not one of those people it's only if I'm having like a really bad like mental day where like a bunch of stuff I feel like is affecting me that I'm just kind of like, I just want to go home. It'd be really great to sleep in my own bed and then come back out swinging the next day. Like if I could fly, sleep, and then come back, we're good.
Right.
But for the most part, I find like a lot of comfort in like my on-tour rituals and my little bunk and all of that. So it's just kind of like my normal at the time. That is my home for the time being. And that's just, I'm weird like that though.
No, not that it's weird. See, you are a petite young lady. So the thing is, you hear I am 6'5", 280 pounds. So when I would get in that bunk, remember the first tour we went on, I was just like, man, am I going to be able to get in that bunk? Rich was kind of worried. He's like, just get up there and see, it's going to be claustrophobic or whatever. But once I got in there, there was definitely enough room and everything. And, I just relaxed. But man, oh man, we were in Denmark with Volbeat. And I can't remember the band. It's a big band. And they were saying, we were just outside talking. And they were talking about how they're like, man, after about 2 weeks, man, I miss my band so much. Not that they don't want to be on tour, but they miss that comfort of just, because as you were saying earlier, touring can be, it's a great thing.
It's definitely,
but it can be difficult and it's work. A lot of people think it's just all fun. It is enjoyable, especially when you get on that stage, but it's work but it's something that we love. But so, it can be difficult. It can be
exactly.
difficult.
And I think like a lot of times I look at touring as like an escape from, what's going on in my everyday life too. So it's like I have no rush to get back to that shit. But so I'll just tackle these problems head on, as I have them on tour. And it's a distraction, which, may or may not be a healthy way to deal with things, running from your problems. But whatever, I'll take it.
Oh my goodness. So we kind of discussed it a little bit. So what's the most difficult part of touring to you?
Like I said, I think the most difficult part is just the lack of sleep and that making you a little bit grumpy. So I definitely feel that, or, not being able to take as good a care of yourself as you're normally used to. I have like a creature of habit. So like I said, I have my at-home rituals that I do, and then I have to pivot and adjust for tour. And sometimes the re-entry into that can be a little difficult.
Right.
Not being able to take as many showers, or, just being in a small space with the same people when they're getting on your last effing nerve. But a lot of it's just, but I mean, for the most part, I love being on tour. I'm really easygoing. I just kind of surrender to the flow of things. I know that there's going to be a schedule and it's probably not going to go according to plan. So it allows me to practice my patience, which is a good thing. At least that's what we're telling ourselves.
Awesome, young lady. Awesome. So what is your most favorite song to perform?
I think I have two. So, my first one is a song called Another Bar Fight in Brooklyn, just because it's really high energy and it kind of serves as a reminder of, like believing in yourself and staying true to who you are. And, no matter what demons you've got going on in your head, like at the end of the day, you're going to do you.
Yes, it did.
And then even though I have been butchering it because my voice was crap, I really love performing Rain because it's such a different animal than any of the other songs. It's really just a moment to sit and connect with people as opposed to all the head banging and dancing and flying around. So those songs are like the two polar opposites of my personality.
Got you. Amazing. And once again, both of those songs are amazing. Listen, the catalog's a great catalog. I really enjoyed it. Just like I said, I sat down with it, of course, getting myself prepared for this. And I was just like, oh man. And so me being a lyricist, me being a writer, I'm listening to the things that you're saying. And that's why, to me, I was moved by things. I'm just like, okay, that's why when I said at first I was like, she has this sultry delivery also, even though it's like, but but then I was like, nah, it's a more powerful emotional delivery. So I'm just, I'm tweaking my things as I'm going down because I'm writing as I'm listening, and I'm just saying like, man, I'm loving this, man. I said, Jaycee.
Oh, thank you. That means so much.
I said, she's handling her business. She's handling the business.
Yeah, that's what I really try to convey. Like when in the booth, I just want to, I turn all the lights off and I just want to feel what I'm saying. And I think that we sacrifice a lot of more technically perfect takes for ones that showcase like the emotion a little bit better, which is why I do not record myself, because I will overanalyze it to death. But like so I'm just like, you choose the takes that you think make you feel something. Right. And I will just trust that.
I got you. Well, you guys have great production, great orchestration, great instrumentation, and of course, they all complement your vocals so well. And you guys are doing a great job. You have an amazing sound,
Thank you.
So we're getting close to the end, and I have a couple more questions. Now it's like we're so cool and stuff. It's like I don't want to let you go now because I'm having too much fun with this. I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
with you.
I feel like we just became best friends.
Right. It's all love. So, any plans of taking your show to Europe or Asia or South America, anything like that?
That is 100% on my bucket list, something that I absolutely look forward to. We actually have several fans overseas that every time we post tour dates, so like, when are you coming to Europe? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm working on it, and it will happen before I die. I promise that.
Definitely, because they'll love you over there. I feel that, really. And I tell a lot of the guests that I have, Europe is such a, the United States, of course, we're amazing. Everybody in Europe wants to come over to the States and to witness and see this great expanse, and just like, wow. But going to Europe it's just something different. It's like to me, they appreciate you more. It's like that, in the States, it's just like, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me? I mean, this is who we are.
See you next time.
Right. And over there, they're just like, they're embracing you and they want to see you and they show love and listen, it was just amazing. I loved it over there. Indeed.
Yeah, I've heard exactly that from so many friends of mine that have gone overseas and toured. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. Like, it sounds like a logistical nightmare, but worth it. Like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, if you get the right people or the right booking agency and the right whatever, they set all that they set that up. And I was just thankful that I got with Stuck Mojo, who had already done that. And so just watching and seeing what was going on, and then you're going from country, it's going from state to state, but everything just is closer. So you're going from country to country to country. And it's just like, wow, you're in France and then you go across the sound or whatever. And now you're in England and it's just like, man, but it was amazing. I enjoyed every single fan over there. And I have so many people that are more than just, they're not fans anymore. They're like really friends and brothers and sisters of mine now, from touring overseas. And so I'm just thinking, even here in the States. So, that's just who I am. And I feel that you're the same kind of person. So
you already know.
I understand. Yes, indeed. Okay. So, young lady, the last question that I have for you. How handsome am I? No, that's not the question. Not the question.
Beautiful.
No, I know it. I'm so pretty. I'm jealous of myself. I keep telling my wife that. Understand, No, the last question is, what is the last song you listened to?
The last song I listened to, it's by this artist called Death by Rami that I'm obsessed with right now. Okay. She was recently on tour with The Used, and I think that what she's doing is just so interesting. It's very like production heavy, kind of like pop, but still very much rock. And I've just been obsessed with her entire vibe. So I was listening to a song called No Mercy, and it is at the top of my get hype for shows playlist.
I got you. I always like to ask that. Yeah, I always like to ask that question because you never know what people are listening to, and we as musicians and lovers of music, we listen to a lot of things. So I always get like the craziest, not the craziest answers, the best answers and different answers. And I was like, oh wow, oh really? Okay. wow. And it allows me to go listen to some things to say like, hey, let me go out here and check this out and see what this song is about. Because if you like it, I might love it also. Indeed.
Check it out. She's a vibe. Other than that, like, I'm just like so basic, and I love my Taylor Swift.
Listen, Taylor Swift, Taylor Clumsy, listen, Taylor is amazing. She really is. And she gets out there and handles her business. Yes, indeed.
She's a great songwriter. Yeah. I appreciate that. And her music is like an episode of Friends for me. So it's just, let's just put it on and whatever plays is fine.
Indeed. Awesome. Well, young lady, I just want to thank you again. This has been very, 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 very great and inspirational and just a great time. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Shauna O'Donnell.
Thank you for yours.
Shauna O'Donnell, thank you, young lady. I appreciate it. Yeah, for the hookup. That's what I'm talking about. You know, keep them coming. I like this. I love this. So, so if you don't mind, give people your social media information or any contact information they may need to get in contact with you.
You can find anything at A Light Divided, Spotify, TikTok, Insta, Facebook, Twitter, Thread, whatever. All of the things at A Light Divided. Pretty straightforward. And because we are a small band, it's all run by your girl. So if you want to talk, hi, I'm here to talk to you.
Well, once again, young lady, thank you. This has been amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. Great time, and continued success in all you do. And you're welcome to come anytime you want to, and you just want to talk about anything. It doesn't matter. Just let it be known. I got you. We're family. That's what we do.
I'm absolutely going to take you up on that. I'm like a cat. Like, once you feed me, you can't get rid of me.
Nah. Listen, man, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. We're good to go. It's all love. It really is. All right. So once again, thank you.
This has been great. I had so much fun talking to you. I really appreciate you inviting me on today.
Definitely. And that means a lot to me also. Thank you very, very much. Yes, indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, you know who it is. It is yours truly, the Lord. Pause. Nelson, that is, from the podcast Live and Loud with the Lord on the CMS Network with 5 Royals Entertainment with the amazing, one more time, the amazing JAYCEE from A Light Divided. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, young lady. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I wish I was wrong about you, but you gave me so frustrated. Yeah, I was wrong about you. Now the end is over, face it. Anything to get what you want. Can't even mistakes my loss. I'm even at the end of the road. I wish I was wrong about you.
Am the Lord, Nelson, that is.